Today we're back at it on this 98. We're going to try to completely finish the cut and buff process, hopefully today. If not, it'll be tomorrow morning. Already have the bed done on both sides. The cab is ready for the final polishing stage. Got the front assembled, but we still lack this front fender and door, and I guess also the cab. But it actually sprayed out really nicely, so that cut and buff process shouldn't be as painful as some of the others. The hood came out really nice. What I actually did was switch to a 3M heavy cut wool pad, and it actually, with the Angelwax, it pulled them all out, and it turned out really good. So I don't have a lot of experience with different compounds, but I can tell you that I don't see one thing wrong with the Angelwax. The operating table for today consists of all kinds of big kid polycarbonate blocks, the linear blocking tools, paper, 3M paper, rotary buffer, mini polisher, and 3M pads. This finish is actually pretty nice. This was sprayed with the Sagola 4600 Xtreme with the titanium cap. I mean, it puts out a really flat finish straight out of the gun. I think more experienced painters can actually even lay it down more flat than this. This is a nice finish. Now here's the difference from here out of the gun, what it looks like after you've cut and buffed it with your polycarbonate block. And you can just see more of a mirror finish. Nothing wrong with this. This is even better. One of the reasons why you would cut and buff, here's the bug again. That'll come out, and then you're gonna have little pieces of trash that pop up. If you paint in a booth, you're gonna have issues sometimes. But start off to chase some of those smaller nibs. This came from big kid blocks. Pretty cool. Just wrap your paper around it. We'll go after those first few nibs. We'll try to get the nasty stuff out of there right away. With the big kid block, they're actually sized so that you have a full sheet of paper here. Fold it in half again, and then you're actually ready to just wrap this around these blocks. So they're thought out with that in mind. With some of the other orange peel that I'd been dealing with earlier in the project, it was much more substantial than this, and I actually started with 600 grit. Flat as this looks, I'm going to start with 2000, and if that would get it, that would speed this whole process up. If it won't get it, we can drop down and start small and see what happens. We're also not going to fart around with this all day trying to get that 2000 to do it, so if it won't do it, we'll adjust. You can see here after a quick pass with the 2000, it looks like it's going to take care of it. You can see where we stopped. That's how light the peel was. That was pretty quick and relatively painless, so that would speed the compounding process up exponentially if we could lead off with the 2000. One thing about orange peel, you don't want it. When I sprayed a lot of this truck, it had gotten up into the upper 90s here in the Midwest. 96 the day I did that other side. Maybe if I would have used a different reducer. I used slow. I was spraying at about 30 PSI with the clear, and that should have been good. It wasn't. Something wasn't right. The less orange peel, the better, that is for sure. That was a really painstaking process to get all that removed on the passenger side. It didn't take too long, and I decided to go down to the 1200. I do use some of the Adhesive paper too, but I don't know if they make anything in these higher grits like the linear blocking tools is currently making. Tried them both. They're both good. The linear blocking paper seems to be a little bit tougher, and one problem you have is getting that paper to come off of these blocks. It wants to stick terribly, and you end up sitting there with a razor blade and your soapy water trying to shave that residue off your block before you can change papers. And the Adhesive seems to tear, and it's just not quite as tough. It comes off in little pieces as opposed to where this comes off pretty well. It does still leave the residue, but at least the paper will hold together well enough for you to pull it off. I mean, it's good that the paper sticks, but it sticks a little too well. Tried Goo Gone to get the adhesive off. Don't do that with your polycarbonate. Whatever's in the Goo Gone basically dissolves this polycarbonate. Not super problematic, but it is a thing. You do get a super flat finish with these blocks. I think ultimately it depends on what your end goal is. This isn't a show truck or anything, but for me personally, I try to get better each time I do something, and I'm kind of a tool junkie, so something like a DuraBlock or a paint stick still has its place depending on what it is you're actually going for. And even on this project, even though I was using the polycarbonate throughout, you end up finding places where my body work just wasn't flat enough to get truly flat. And so in the end, you know, I may grab something like a Durablock just because you know, you've been working on something with this polycarbonate, working and working and working, and you realize you're getting pretty thin on your clear. You can grab something that's just a little bit softer. That defect will come on out, and really, I mean, you're splitting hairs at that point. It's flat, and if you have somebody looking that closely at your truck, you might just want to ask them to go look at somebody else's truck. It all has its place. This might be a good place to show you as an example for the sake of demonstration. We'll switch over to this Durablock and see if it doesn't just come right out for us. Still got 1200 here, so we got it. And that's still very flat. When we polish that, you're not going to be able to see. You won't know if I used a polycarbonate block or if I switched. Especially as I get down here, even though I'll probably start with a hard block, ultimately, in certain places you'll even use your hand, but in some places a block like this that's just got a little flex and just a little bit of give to it, more forgiving around these types of edges. It takes all kinds of blocks, really. As we move into some of these other areas is when you want to grab a smaller block, and I went with one. The poly blocks, if you don't know, they come in different thicknesses. It's firm, stays flat, and you switch to, I think maybe this is an 1/8, a little more give, just so that it'll fit a panel. So if I say that, so that if you didn't really know what these poly blocks consist of, and then here's an example of even the next size down, you got a whole lot of flex, you know, and you can, as you work, you want to find a block that fits your panel so that you're not just hitting dead center of your block each time and rubbing a flat spot there. So that's the thing with polys, lots of different thicknesses. Got the front fender completed in the 1200. We'll move on down to the door, and that is where we'll kind of switch up blocks. And that leads me back to what I was saying earlier. I just peeled the paper that I had left on this block off, and as you can see, this is that residue I was talking about that's so hard to get off. On my lunch break, I did pick up some of the 3M adhesive remover. We'll give that a shot and see if that simplifies this process. Seems to. That's good, because this was $30 for this quart of adhesive remover. So, well, this is the easiest I've ever removed this. I've tried everything else, mainly because I didn't want to spend 30 bucks for the adhesive remover. I definitely recommend it, because this isn't bad. The 3M adhesive remover is the ticket. Got her looking good. Put our paper on and start down the door. We'll go with this 24-inch big kid block. Here's a nice example of what you'll reveal when you start blocking with a hard block over a surface that looked straight to begin with, and it was. But as you can see, those blocks will really reveal everything and take everything out. It definitely gets it flat. So we're back in the shop, but we went ahead and finished blocking out with our 800, 8 and 1200 is kind of what we've got a mix of over here. Now we'll switch over to the DA sander with the 1500. Here we are switching over to our 3M 1500 dry this time. No more water. We've got our interface pad on here, so it'll fit these panels. Interface pads aren't expensive, and you really need one if you're... So it's time to wipe down the panel after the Trizac, and I switched and got a clean microfiber. It's important to remember that not all microfibers are created equal. This one's actually not that good of one. This is an example of the chemical guys. It's got the bound edges with silk binding. The ones that I like are from the Rag Company, and they're not cheap, but they're important as you start into the polishing stage, or you're going to be battling scratches the whole time. Okay, now that we've made it through our Trizac, it's time to step over to the 3M Heavy Cut Wool Pad and the Angelwax Resurrection. Now here's one of the microfiber towels I mentioned earlier from the Rag Company. Now's when you really don't pick up a dirty towel through the whole polishing process, and then, you know, change change towels as you change compounds as well. With the majority of our big panels covered with the 9-inch wool pad on the rotary buffer, it's time to do our edge work. And this is where the mini polisher and the 3-inch 3M pad come into play. Now this is the same pad as the big 9-inch pad I was using on the rotary. It's just a lot more compact and easier to get in around your edges. A lot more control when it comes to not burning an edge. It's really easy to burn an edge with the big 9-inch pad. It's a lot to control. You can definitely get a lot more precise with something like this when you start getting in on these edges and in your tighter, your jams and stuff like that. So one thing about it, you just always want to make sure your pad is turning off of your panel instead of into your panel. And there may be times where you can't avoid that, but you really need to be careful when that's going on, or sure enough, you'll burn your paint right off. After finishing our edge work, we've got the cab doors and extended cab ready to move on to the polishing stage. You can see what a nice job the Resurrection does. Angelwax is a water-based product, so it's super easy to clean up, minimal dusting. Anything you saw flying around outside of extra compound coming off my pad was the lint that comes out of those new wool pads. But the compound itself is just really clean and easy to work with. Okay, we're finishing this up. I just completed the bed in the second stage of the buffing process with the 3M foam pad and the Angelwax Regenerate. I think I've said Redemption repeatedly. Redemption is the third and final high polish stage if you choose to go that route. You don't have to. As you can see here, for a daily driver, for something that's not headed to a show, this is a super good finish, super high gloss. So the first step was the Angelwax Resurrection on the wool pad. Second step, 3M foam pad with the Regenerate. Let's finish this up. We just got a little bit to go and we're done. All right, let's get her out in the sun and have a look. Pretty pleased. Still got to stick that bumper pad down tight, but we are basically done with this dude. Now off to the shop for a lift kit, some tires and wheels. That pretty much wraps up this video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, if it helped you, please like and subscribe. Catch up with me on whatever I'm working on next. Thanks, take care.